Bonjour tout le monde, c'est Catherine Ann Marsh. Chapeau haut, which is French for hats off, to show my respect to all of you. Since the 14 de Juillet is coming up next week, I thought today I would do a video, a presentation about the French Revolution. And there are a lot of people who have been getting interested in the French Revolution. Stand-up comedians are talking about the French Revolution on stage, and it's not really a funny topic. Although it might be funny for a stand-up comedian to study the French Revolution. Who knows? I'm not a comedian. Anyway, I would like to start by saying something about Sofia Coppola's film. The title of her film is Marie Antoinette, which I liked so much. I've seen it twice, and I paid to watch the film on streaming on YouTube again this afternoon. I have been working out. So I sweated off half of my makeup during my workout earlier today. So anyhow, I met Sofia Coppola during a workshop called Heartbeat, taught by Jonathan Horan, who is the son of my shaman and friend Gabrielle Roth. And at her workshops and his workshops too, you just dance by yourself to start with, and then you dance with other people in the workshop. And usually you haven't ever met those people before. And one of the people I ended up dancing with introduced herself to me, being Sofia Coppola. And I know her father is Francis Ford Coppola, and he made The Godfather and Godfather 2, and I thought, wow, what a legacy of filmmaking, and she's a filmmaker too. And so I really enjoyed meeting her, and Sofia Coppola and I, Catherine Ann Marsh, kept dancing together, and then I went on and switched partners and danced with somebody else, and it was great. I'm really glad I went to the workshop. So Sofia Coppola made the film Marie Antoinette, starring Kirsten Dunst. So I'll show you for a couple of seconds here. And you can see my flag too. I have the French flag, which was created during the French Revolution in my home, which I've had in my home for about 3 years now behind my TV. It's just up there all the time. Not going to go into why. So anyhow, first of all, the real Marie Antoinette was from Austria, and she married the grandson of Louis XIV, who was the Sun King. And he was really into light, and he made Versailles, and he made the Hall of Mirrors, and he had this big vision of Versailles, which he employed a lot of people for his vision to come true. And his grandson was the king, Louis XVI, was the king of France, who married Marie Antoinette. And he built the Petit Trianon for her, which was a building next to Versailles, so she could have her own privacy and some place to go if she didn't want to spend the night with him every night. And so anyhow, she didn't speak English at all. The United States would have just been 13 states and colonies back then, and there would not have been any reason for her to travel by boat over to a long voyage to the United States. And so she didn't speak English, had no reason to learn English. Her husband was from France, so her native language was German, and then she learned French. She had to learn French to be the Queen of France and to marry him. And so anyway, she spoke French and German, and that's it. She didn't speak English at all. And so she couldn't have said the infamous phrase because she didn't even speak English. Secondly, the person who did speak the infamous phrase was Rousseau, which is a historical fact. So she got executed on the guillotine in Paris for something she didn't even say. And the trial she had was not like a trial is normally conducted back then in France either. She didn't have adequate representation. She didn't have an avocat, or if she did, it was not for the whole trial at all. And so she had to represent herself for most, if not all, of the trial. I'll have to check my facts about her trial. Suffice it to say, she got sent to the guillotine and killed for something she didn't even say. So, yes, she was bad at money management, and yes, she learned money management kind of too late. My mom told me Marie Antoinette and her husband, the former King of France, the 16th, Louis the 16th, tried to finally, she finally communicated to him long enough to where he finally left Versailles. He would not budge. And she finally got him to leave Versailles. And my mom said they didn't make it to Switzerland to escape Versailles and being executed in Paris on the guillotine. Both of them were killed on the guillotine because their faces were on the currency of France. And the border guards between France and Switzerland, which would have been before the Pyrenees mountains, probably didn't even get to the Pyrenees, recognized them because Marie Antoinette and her husband, the former King of France, Louis the 16th, were on the French currency. That's like recognizing George Washington or something had he been a king, but he wasn't. He was the first president of our country, America. So, because he's on the dollar bill. So their pictures were on the franc and other French currency, so the guards recognized them right away, took them into custody to Paris, and then they both stood trial and both got killed. So another fact I would like to say is before the French Revolution, before the storming of the Bastille, which was on the 14th of July, the 14 de Juillet, before the storming of the Bastille even, it is a fact, churches would help people with free food. And this is French good quality food. The food in France is good quality. It's not just take what you can get. And the churches, maybe not really expensive food, but still good quality French food. Churches would help people who were struggling and didn't have enough food to feed their families with free food every week. All those people had to do was go to church, and not on Sunday. People didn't have to attend morning mass or Sunday mass at all. France is a Catholic country, a Catholic pays-by. People were not asked questions about their religion. Even if somebody wasn't Catholic, the person could go to a Catholic church in France and ask for help with food for their family or just for themselves. And the churches would give those people free food for their families and or just for themselves. So instead of having a whole revolution, those people could have gotten help with food at their local Catholic church. Evidently, those people didn't ask for help. And I know it takes a lot of humility to ask for help from a church, but it's better than being too hungry and not being able to feed your family. Those people could have gone to Notre Dame or Sacré-Cœur or any other Catholic l'église, Sainte-Chapelle, and asked for help for groceries for their family and would have been given food for the week for free by l'église, the churches. So there really wouldn't have had to been a revolution at all. But there was a lot of gossip, and there was a lot of people blaming Marie Antoinette for not giving a fuck about the French people, not everyone, because that's a generalization, but a lot of people in France being really hungry and not having jobs or not having enough income to feed their families. And so the mob mentality took over, and the Bastille was stormed. There were only 7 prisoners in the Bastille when the Bastille was stormed. And one of those people was in there because he was criminally insane, but he hadn't done anything violent to anybody. He had extreme delusions of grandeur. And the other 6 people were like pickpockets or something. Anyway, there were only about, literally, there were 6 or 7, in fact, 7 prisoners in the whole Bastille. So the French Revolution was because of 7 people? And something Marie Antoinette didn't even say? And Rousseau wasn't ever even brought to trial, and he's the one who said the infamous phrase, not Marie Antoinette. So my neighbors are going in their apartment. So anyhow, there's my point of view on the French Revolution. Evidently, the people of France didn't want a monarchy either. Would have been the underlying cause of the French Revolution too. And so those people got another kind of government and got Napoleon instead. Napoleon was the first emperor of France. So a military leader was the first emperor of France, Napoleon Bonaparte. So he wasn't even elected, really. I don't know how he got to be the emperor of France. Anyway, he was the first emperor of France, Napoleon Bonaparte. Okay, so bon après-midi. Thank you for listening to my talk about the French Revolution. I would really appreciate you liking and subscribing to my YouTube channel so you can get more information about France and the way of life in France, the culture in France, and how it differs from America and other countries in France, like Italy and the UK, too. Bon après-midi. It's really hot out. It's 92 degrees today, so keep cool and stay hydrated.